I knew you did.
The Muffin Man, yes, the Muffin Man. The broadcast has been stopped.
Breaky.
The broadcast has been stopped?
It's been stopped.
There you go. Alright.
Donkey.
to the committee.
The donkey.
There's no broadcast, Eddie.
What?
There's no broadcast.
Maybe look on YouTube?
What's your YouTuber gamer name?
Maybe look on YouTube.
Eddie Kenshin. Literally just every single name I've ever had in my whole life.
No.
What the fuck is that profile picture? Or that fucking thumbnail?
Eddie Kenshin
The thumbnail.
movie.
Eddie Kenshin the movie?
Thumbnail? I think I have YouTube downloaded actually.
Bruh. It doesn't say you're streaming. The fuck? RKO Happy Wheels?
I don't have it downloaded.
What the fuck is happening?
It's little Eddie.
What are you on about?
It's saying RKO Happy Wheels.
I did not post any YouTube video when I was young. I have no idea what the fuck you guys are on. Send that
6 years
shit.
ago.
Send that shit.
Wait, Matthew, what's Eddie's username?
Eddie Kenshin.
What are you on about? RKO Happy Wheels? That's not my fucking account! Why do you guys think that's my account? That is not my account. That was made in 2015!
No, this is Eddie.
No!
That definitely sounds like Eddie.
My YouTube account was made in 2016.
Wait, listen to it. Listen to it.
That is not me though. That is not me, I promise you. I promise you that is not me. I don't know how to. No, I cannot stress this enough. That is not me. I cannot stress this enough. I just don't know why the fuck you guys see that's me. That's not me. I've only ever had Eddie Kenshin as an account, and it's this one. You can even see I posted a fucking meme 4 years ago. That's not me. I have played Happy Wheels. I've never recorded myself play Happy Wheels. That is not the fucking move!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
I mean...
Oh! New content?
Why not? Oh.
What does that mean? New content?
Why not? Oh, new content.
Can we go to the other way? No, we cannot. Okay, well, I tried.
It's a lift, Eddie.
That is not a lift. A lift does not go left to right.
Left to right?
Left to right. This is more like a... trolley? I don't know.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
It is.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Ultra Deluxe. More.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too. That's the actual first time I'm actually going to see
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
All right.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh! I can jump!
Oh, you can jump. New content.
This has never been done before.
Have to do it 20 times.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Like 10 seconds?
Yes.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Huh.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Bran.
Bran.
University chapter leaked? Is that the monster for fucking Amnesia?
Amnesia.
Or is that the Resident Evil 7 baby? Or Resident Evil 8? Resident Evil 8, not 7, not 8. Okay. Well, that was, oh shit! I didn't even notice. Okay. Huh.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Doesn't sound scary at all.
You know what? We're fine. We'll do it.
Trust Stanley.
Coffee nut. Whoa. Okay.
Cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be, well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Whoa.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
The Memory Zone. Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Memory suit memory.
You
like
see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind
arcade.
you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the
Pressured
game
steam.
originally launched? Back then,
Pressured
video
gas
games
instead
had
of steam.
integrity.
I like
Back
that.
then, it all meant something.
2013 when the Stanley
Oh,
Parable was
waste.
released. I guess this is previous. National Geographic, Indoors Time. The Stanley Parable, the Collector's Edition. 2014 Independent Game Festival. Audience Award. Oh, motherfuckers. Good times. Stanley Parable. Buy pressurized gas. What to what everyone's saying. Damn, bro. That's pretty cool. Smile because it happened. I tripped down memory lane. His first dollar, like Mr. Krabs. Sanitary demonstration. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Not British Academy Award. Game Innovation. Oh, they got a nominee in the British Academy of Film and Television Arts.
Oh.
Got one for innovation, game detail, or debut, story. Stanley Parable deal with tough choices. New video game releasing today. Damn, bro. Oh, I didn't see that. Beta work in progress. And Stanley died, I guess. Love memory of little Stanley. Oh, is that a cat?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Huh. It was good. Oh yeah, that was the old version, like I was saying. Oh yes, the Minecraft game. Oh yeah, they also let you play Portal. I forgot about that. Areas on maintenance. Huh. Person of the year. Stanley. Oh. The original remake. The end is never unlock. For Scott Cave. Shut up. Oh my god, look at the buttons on the wall. The greatest wealth is memory.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Oh.
Yeah.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back
No,
to
I'm
have
good.
it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh yeah, sandwich sounds good. Alright.
Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online
Right, yeah,
storefront
those are
for
also
computer
good.
games.
That's
I
Steam.
haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I wouldn't give to go back and have it all over again.
Oh.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious
Yeah,
and
not
unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I don't think I was supposed to get here until I finish everything else. Let's find out. Oh my.
Like how you went so office to like
Okay, let's see what this one says.
the weirdest
While
fucking
the idea
place.
for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
No.
You can tell me if
never
I'm
stay in the
preachy.
office
Honestly,
for
you
long.
can. Oh,
No, dude,
goodness.
you're not.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I came into the door. It does look like a skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
Just in case
And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before
I wonder what happens if I just sit here.
Can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet,
so it just
until 240. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well,
Is the
there's
tree
really
gonna
only
grow?
so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye. Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Oh, shit.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the
Okay. Put that sound in my head.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the There are the jokes they bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demand. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing. The end is never the end, 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 is never.
Holy shit.
Oh, what the fuck? What happened to the building?
It looks kind of beautiful. Oh my. Very beautiful.
Oh. Yeah, damn.
Oh Jesus.
You get stuck.
That's scary. I don't want to be here.
Oh, it's going sideways. What the fuck? Now we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
There's no end.
No. Well. Onward.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Back into the office.
Okay. So, username access entirely? New. No.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Yeah.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Baby.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Yes.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
This is my toilet now.
No fucking scanners thing.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
It's fine, we can stay in here.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Bet your ass I am.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
It is me, new person.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Ben?
Ben?
Yes? Alright, get that here.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
True.
215.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, I don't think
2845.
So 2, 8, 4, 5.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Damn, it's crazy how I got that right.
Damn. You're good at that.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Bro, mind control powers?
That sounds pretty cool.
Okay. Well, because you're at a higher level.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Quest 427.
That's
There's
a lot of
mine.
numbers.
Look, this face punch right there. Where's the very first one? Wow. Is there anything else? What'd that do? Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept
Pirate.
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
It looks disabled already. This one. Can I go down here?
Okay.
3. What does that mean? Maybe just 2? Or 4? Oh, 1. 1, 2. That was kind of a low one. That's 5. So then where's 4? Oh, up there. Couldn't see it because it's too damn dark.
Yeah, I want a dark room.
Alright, and I can't even go through there. Okay, whatever. Let's press this one then.
They don't work.
It's a big ass company,
And when
dude.
at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
No.
Backup generator?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Really?
It was
What the fuck was
perhaps
this? What is this
the
for?
only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Good job, Stanley. It would beat the game. Yay. Good job, Stanley. It would beat the game. And we're back here. God damn it. My choice didn't matter.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Button. Oh my god.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His
Wouldn't
boss
you
would
be
think
for
he
it?
was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
How does this car
"I'm
fit in here?
dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Why am I hearing this voice in my head?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Surely.
I am okay.
Oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Damn.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yeah, we're dead. It's like my dream come true. Now what though? Oh, okay, we're back here.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. Unplug this. Or not.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh. What the fuck? Business strategy? Oh my god. Go down. And now go up. Hey. 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 Oh. Yep. Yep. Hey. Hey. Elevator. 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 Ah. Did I hear him say shit? The narrator? God damn it. Okay. Elevated music going loud. Elevated music. I'm proud. Hey. Elevator. Yeah. Elevator. Hey. Elevator. Hey. Going up. Going down. Go down. Hey. Elevator. Motherfucker. Denominator. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yep. There's no way I just sit here and do this. This is not... Get me out of this fucking thing. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Close them doors, never go back in there.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Hey.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I'm in Egypt. You are now loading.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Now go back up.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Me too. Why did I do that?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other,
I get
weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
What if I just sit here and waste your time, huh? Narrator, asshole.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming
This
up
goddamn
with all
narrator is
this?
such an asshole. I wasn't talking to you. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. No, if you go back up.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Oh, we're gonna find out very soon, baby boy. I wonder what's up here. Oh my god. It is the boss's office again.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Beat that guy's ass.
That's cool.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh, now he's just being an asshole. Okay. Okay.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
No, you haven't.
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Yeah. On the elevator. Again. Really?
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
You're good. Now what should we do today? No comment?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Okay, I'm going with
There
that.
we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
Yes.
Where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but...
Heyo.
Well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Yes, my debut, of course. World's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. How he did it, the pyramids. Live, the guy that went to Mars. But more importantly, all eyes on Stanley. Live. World's even with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The Stanley Parable Stanley tonight. I'm gonna go over there though. Pretty interesting. Come on, let me in. Fine then. Be like that. World's first sentient machine. Doing great.
All right,
Great.
are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready
Up again,
for you.
down again.
Go get them.
Remember where you came from. Your co-workers. Damn, bro. The dude who came up with pizza. The guy who went to Mars. The Lord. Doing great. Holy shit. Down, then up, then down, then up. That is very loud. Ow!
What?
That really hurt. Jesus Christ. It's in my office now? Okay. Well, that happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The end is never, the end is never.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his coat. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay. End is near. The end is near. The end is near. The end near?
The nearest end.
The ladder's near. Oh! That's on that side, huh? Brandon.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Okay.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking, this is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I'm married. I wonder what salary. What's my salary? Huh?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'm blind.
No.
Yes.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh my.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Yes.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Why did you make bread?
Right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to
Yes.
commit their life to you?
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Fucking
I'm
crap.
trying to get you to see
I
something.
got pranked.
Come
bro.
inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I mean,
Did
fuck
he
you.
just prank
Sorry,
you?
but
Oh.
you're in my story now.
Okay, I just go knock on one of my neighbor's doors. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, well, I guess we're going in. Hello, wife.
This is a very
Nice to-
sad story about the death of a man named
What?
Stanley.
Good morning. Press any button on your controller. I don't think I will now. You know what? I don't think I will. What is it here? I do nothing. No. No. I guess my wife. Ew. Oh, she looks like she's...
Stanley
there you
is
go.
quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
The hell are y'all?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now
Nom, nom,
he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic
I
discoveries.
left my burritos
of
in the
new
microwave,
lands.
wife. Can you
It
move?
was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that
chimichangas.
none of it would ever happen to him.
Please. My
And
chimichanga.
so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Chimichangas.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
I don't remember having this. Okay.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this
Oh,
fantasy
shit.
world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond
My
hope that it
chimichangas are
would never
gone.
end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I don't love you.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's
She
doing
left
is
me.
pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
Not gonna come
The
up.
longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
I hate Mondays. What is this? I don't know.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here,
No.
watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Huh.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Am I dead? Did I die? Oh, but hell isn't an office.
Haha.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm in hell. Oh, hey.
Oh, that took a turn.
Okay. I hope I'm in heaven this time. Okay, I'm in heaven.
No, you're still in hell.
Oh, God damn it. Heaven. Oh, yes. Give me these buttons. I love them all. Oh, this is heaven, alright. Start in the bottom row. Work our way.
Go on. That's a turn. Oh, I see you.
Now this is my heaven for real. Does it just restart? Oh my god, it does. Oh, I knew it. This is heaven.
What? It doesn't break that?
Oh, I love this. Oh my god. Hello, I am pressing buttons. Are you entertained?
About that.
Are you amused?
That's actually pretty cool. But it's not as good as mine, so